This can't be happening, Amara whispered, backing away as tears filled her eyes. You can't force me into a marriage with a man I've never even met.
Welcome to Wild Shadow Tales, where every story will break your heart, blow your mind, and leave you wanting more. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss a story that hits different.
Her mother's face hardened instantly. You don't need to know him. Everything has already been arranged. But this is my life, Amara shouted, her voice shaking. I deserve to decide who I marry. You lost that choice the moment this family stepped in, her mother snapped. That night, the room felt colder than death itself. Amara stood near the wall, trembling as the door slowly creaked open. The man they forced her to marry stepped inside, watching her carefully. My beautiful wife, he said softly. Why are you crying? Are you afraid of me? Stay away from me, she warned, breathing heavily. Don't come any closer. Instead of getting angry, the stranger stopped. His expression changed completely. You shouldn't even be here, he muttered quietly. This place isn't safe. Amara frowned in confusion. What are you talking about? They're watching this house, he whispered. And if you trust the wrong person, you could die. Her fear slowly turned into suspicion. This wasn't the cruel monster everyone described. Something about him felt wrong. Or maybe hidden. You're not acting the way they said you would, she said carefully. A faint smile crossed his face. That's because people only see what they're meant to see. Who are you really? Someone trying very hard to stay alive. Elsewhere in the compound, Amara's stepmother relaxed comfortably while her daughter, Adiz, paced nervously to Oh, it's done? Adiz asked. Amara won't come back? The older woman smiled coldly. Where she is now, she'll be too weak to fight anything. By the time she understands what happened, it'll already be too late. And Emeka? Adiz asked quietly. What if he still wants her? That boy only loved the version of her he could see, her mother replied. Men move on quickly when something new is placed in front of them. Adiz hesitated. What if he asks questions? Then you lie, her mother answered without emotion. Tell him Amara left willingly. People always believe the story that hurts them the least. Back inside the room, Amara stared at the stranger sitting across from her. You've been pretending this whole time, haven't you? She asked. Most of it was an act, he admitted. Why? Because pretending to be harmless kept me alive. Silence filled the room before Amara finally asked the question haunting her mind. Who are you? The man leaned back slowly. My father was one of the most powerful politicians in the country. The kind of man who made dangerous enemies. When he died, everyone around me started choosing sides. And you ran away? No, he corrected her quietly. I survived. For the first time, fear crept into Amara's chest for a completely different reason. They're looking for you? Yes, he replied. And now they know you're connected to me. Amara stared at him in disbelief. How did I even become part of this mess? He looked genuinely guilty. I met your stepmother by accident. Her car broke down near the highway. I fixed it for her. She never mentioned that. She asked questions. Too many questions. About where I came from, why I looked exhausted, why I seemed desperate. I told her I needed somewhere quiet to disappear for a while. And she offered me in exchange. He lowered his eyes. She said there was another man her daughter wanted. She needed you gone. Amara's stomach twisted painfully. So my own family traded me like property? I didn't realize how cruel they truly were, he admitted. I thought it was only business to them. Tears burned in Amara's eyes, but this time they weren't from fear. They came from betrayal. The stranger finally continued. My mother is German. She begged me to leave this country after my father died. She knew people would come after me. But you stayed. I needed to know who betrayed my father, he replied. And now, I think I'm getting close. At that exact moment, two black SUVs rolled slowly into the village under the cover of darkness. Inside one of them, a man studied the quiet streets carefully. This village is too calm, he muttered. That usually means people are hiding something. The second man nodded. If he chose this place, he planned it carefully. He's smarter than they think. And dangerous, the first man added. Meanwhile, Emeka sat alone outside his house, unable to shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. You've been distant lately, Adiz said softly as she approached him. I can't stop thinking about Amara, he admitted. She moved on. Adiz replied quickly. You should too. That's the strange part, Emeka said. Nobody told me where she went. Nobody even let me speak to her. Adiz forced a smile, but inside, panic slowly grew. I think there's something everyone is hiding from me, Emeka continued quietly. Back at the village market the next morning, Amara collected food from Mama Mkachi, an older woman known for helping everyone. You look tired, my child, the woman said gently. Are you even eating properly? I'm trying, Amara replied weakly. Mama Mkachi handed her extra food. Take this. I can't afford all this. You'll pay me when life becomes kinder. Amara smiled faintly. Thank you. As she walked away, the stranger appeared from the shadows, watching the older woman carefully. You said someone here is helping the people chasing you, Amara whispered. They are, he replied. But how can you tell? You don't find traitors by listening to words, he said quietly. You watch movement. His eyes followed Mama Mkachi as she moved from one conversation to another across the busy market. She speaks to everybody, Amara said. That's just her personality. Or it's how she gathers information, he replied coldly. Amara looked at him in shock. You think Mama Mkachi is spying on us? He didn't answer immediately. Instead, his expression darkened as the old woman suddenly glanced in their direction before quietly walking away. I think, he said slowly, she knows far more than she's pretending to. What happens now? Amara asked quietly, her arms folded as anxiety crept across her face. Adrian glanced through the dusty window before answering. Now, we stop guessing and start watching carefully. Later tonight, when we walk outside, I'll explain everything. Amara hesitated. And your mother? She sounded worried on the phone. A shadow crossed Adrian's face. She's pretending to be strong for me, but I know she's terrified. You should speak to her again. I will. Across town, Emeka sat outside, staring blankly into the darkness while Adiz watched him carefully. You're still thinking about her? She asked softly. Emeka nodded. Something about this doesn't feel right. Adiz sighed dramatically. Emeka, that girl already made her choice. No, he replied firmly. I don't believe she did. Or maybe you just don't want to accept the truth. She wouldn't disappear without saying anything to me. Adiz stepped closer. Then explain this to me. Since she left, has she called you even once? Silence. Has she texted? He looked away. Has she tried to contact you at all? No, he admitted quietly. That should tell you everything. Emeka clenched his jaw painfully. I kept thinking maybe she'd come back. And if she doesn't? The question hit harder than he expected. Then maybe I've been holding on to nothing. Adiz touched his shoulder gently, hiding the satisfaction in her eyes. You've been trapped in the past too long, she whispered. Maybe it's finally time to let go. For the first time since Amara vanished, Emeka slowly nodded. Maybe you're right. Not far away, Adrian stood outside an abandoned building, gripping his phone tightly while rage burned behind his eyes. This is wrong, he muttered to himself. This is not what my father wanted. His mother's voice suddenly came through the phone. Adrian, is it you? Yes, Mom. Where are you? Somewhere safer. Her voice trembled. They're trying to replace you. I know, he answered coldly. And it's worse than we thought. They don't just want power anymore. They want me gone completely. Silence. Then his mother whispered in fear. They already sent people after you, didn't they? Yes. My God. That's why I disappeared, Adrian replied. But I'm done running now. I'm going to find out who's behind this. Please be careful. I will. Back in the village, Amara sat quietly outside the small mud house, staring into the distance. I really believed Emeka would come looking for me, she admitted painfully. But he never did. She swallowed hard before continuing. My stepmother took my phone before I left. I couldn't call anyone, and Adrian kept his number hidden for security reasons. Her voice cracked. But even with all that, if Emeka truly wanted to find me, he would have tried harder. You're not completely wrong. Amara turned in surprise. Adrian had been standing behind her the entire time. I didn't hear you. You were thinking too loudly, he said softly. She forced a weak smile. It hurts when people disappoint you, Adrian continued. especially when you built your future around them. Amara lowered her eyes. I thought what we had was real. Maybe it was, Adrian replied. But feelings don't always survive pressure. Before she could answer, his expression suddenly darkened. I found out something today. Her heart skipped. What? The men searching for me know I'm still alive. Fear immediately spread across her face. They're coming back here? Yes. And next time, they won't come pretending to ask questions. Amara stood instantly. Then we need to leave. We leave at sunrise, Adrian said firmly. We head to the city before they close every road. And after that, he looked directly into her eyes. After that, I stop hiding. The next morning, two strange men approached Mama Imkachi again at the marketplace. You people came here yesterday, the old woman said suspiciously. Yes, Mama, one of them replied politely. We're still searching for our cousin. And you still haven't found him? No. The second man smiled carefully. We believe he's hiding somewhere in this village. Mama Imkachi hesitated before finally pointing toward a narrow dirt path. There's a small house beyond the big tree, she said. That's where the stranger stays. The men exchanged a quick look. Thank you, Mama. The moment they walked away, the old woman's smile disappeared completely. Meanwhile, Adrian and Amara were already gone. Two armed SUVs arrived at the empty house minutes later. One of the men stepped inside and cursed immediately. They left. How long ago? Not long. They packed fast. Another man kicked over a wooden chair angrily. Someone warned them. We block every road leading out of this village, the leader ordered. This time, Adrian doesn't escape. Hours later, a convoy of black vehicles rolled through massive iron gates as Amara stared in shock. The mansion before her looked unreal. Adrian stepped out first while armed guards surrounded the compound. The front doors suddenly opened, and an elegant woman rushed toward him emotionally. Adrian. He hugged her tightly. I'm okay, Mom. Her eyes quickly moved toward Amara. And who is she? Adrian looked at Amara carefully before answering. She saved my life. The older woman's expression softened immediately. Then she's family. Amara was speechless as she followed the woman upstairs into a luxurious bedroom larger than anything she had ever seen. This room is yours, Adrian's mother said warmly. Amara looked around in disbelief. Yesterday I was sleeping inside a mud house. Now I'm here. You don't need to feel uncomfortable, the woman assured her. If my son trusts you, then so do I. After she left, Amara sat slowly on the massive bed, overwhelmed. This can't be real. Elsewhere inside the mansion, Adrian finally revealed the truth to his mother. It's not just my uncles, he said quietly. There's someone else behind all this. His mother frowned. What are you talking about? Before you married my father, he was involved with another woman. Her face slowly changed. And it didn't end after the marriage, Adrian continued. There's a child. A child, she whispered in shock. Yes, and she's been manipulating everyone from the shadows. His mother stepped backward slowly. She convinced them I don't belong here because I'm half foreign. And when that wasn't enough, she sent people to kill me. At dinner later that evening, the tension in the mansion felt almost unbearable. Adrian's mother studied Amara carefully. You've been through a lot, haven't you? Amara nodded faintly. After my father died, my home stopped feeling like home. I understand that feeling more than you know, the older woman replied quietly. Then she glanced at Adrian. And you? What happens now? Adrian slowly placed his glass down. I'm done letting them control the story, he said coldly. Tomorrow, this ends. That night, Adrian knocked softly on Amara's door. The door's open, she said. He stepped inside carefully. I've been wanting to talk to you properly. Amara sat up quietly. You didn't choose any of this, he continued. And now that you're safe, you don't have to stay here because of obligation. She looked surprised. You're free to decide your own life. After a long silence, Amara finally spoke. I want to go back. To your stepmother's house? Yes, she answered firmly. I need to hear the truth with my own ears. Adrian nodded slowly. Then tomorrow I'll send you. And you? His eyes darkened instantly. I'm going to confront the woman behind everything. The next day, Laughter filled Amara's old house as Adiz and her mother discussed wedding plans with Emeka. So we start with the guest list, Adiz said excitedly. Yes, her mother smiled. Everything must be perfect. Then the front door opened. The room fell silent immediately. Amara stood there. Adiz's face lost all color. Amara, I heard everything, Amara said coldly. The lies, the setup, everything. Emeka stood up in complete shock. They told me you left willingly. Amara looked directly at him. And you believe them. I didn't know what to think. If you truly cared, she interrupted painfully, you would have searched for me. Emeka opened his mouth, but no words came out. Amara looked at Adiz one last time. You got what you wanted, she said quietly. I hope it was worth destroying your own family. Then she walked away. At that exact moment, Adrian entered another mansion across town. The atmosphere inside turned ice cold instantly. I'm not here for greetings, he said sharply. The elegant older woman across from him smiled faintly. So, you finally found out. You manipulated my uncles. You sent men after me. Because I had no choice, she replied calmly. Before your mother, your father belonged to me. Adrian's jaw tightened. We had a relationship long before he married her, the woman continued. And even after the wedding, he kept coming back. She stepped closer slowly. Then I became pregnant. The woman lowered her eyes, her voice trembling with years of bitterness. Your father made sure we never suffered, she admitted. Money was never the problem. But he made one thing painfully clear. He would never marry me. Adrian's face remained cold. I watched your mother live the life that should have been mine, she continued bitterly. I watched her stand beside him while I stayed hidden like a shameful secret. Her son stepped forward immediately. Mom, stop. This has gone too far. No, she snapped emotionally. You don't understand what it felt like watching another woman enjoy everything I was denied. You tried to destroy me because of jealousy? Adrian asked in disbelief. It wasn't jealousy, she argued. Your mother was foreign. My son belongs to this family, this land, this bloodline. That's not your decision to make, her son said firmly. Dad made his choice years ago, and I accepted it. I never supported any of this. But the woman was too deep in her anger to stop. I saw an opportunity after your father died, she admitted. And yes, I took it. Adrian stared at her silently, disgust written all over his face. You sent men after me, he finally said. She didn't deny it. I only wanted what should have been mine. It was never yours, Adrian replied coldly. Suddenly, armed officers entered the mansion. Ma'am, one of them said carefully, you'll need to come with us. Her expression finally cracked with fear as reality hit her. Hours later, Adrian returned home emotionally exhausted. His mother immediately stood up. How did it go? It's over, he answered quietly. She confessed to everything. His mother closed her eyes painfully. And now, the authorities are handling the rest. After a brief silence, Adrian looked upstairs. Is Amara back? Yes, his mother replied softly. She's been quiet since she returned. Adrian nodded and slowly headed upstairs. He knocked gently. Amara, come in. He stepped inside and immediately noticed the sadness in her eyes. How did it go with Emeka? He asked carefully. Amara forced a faint smile. Not well. She looked away. They've already moved on. They were discussing wedding plans when I arrived. Adrian's expression tightened with anger, but he stayed calm. I guess that tells me everything I needed to know, she whispered painfully. He sat beside her quietly. Sometimes, he said softly, people leaving your life creates space for something better. Amara looked at him silently. This house is yours, he continued. You can stay here as long as you want, but I don't want you drowning in sadness anymore. She frowned slightly. What does that mean? A small smile appeared on his face. Tomorrow, you're coming with me. Where? Shopping. For the first time in days, Amara laughed softly. The next morning became the exact opposite of everything she had lived through recently. Luxury stores, designer dresses, jewelry, shoes, smiles. Amara stared at herself in the mirror, wearing a stunning gown she never imagined she'd touch in her lifetime. You look beautiful, Adrian said honestly. She turned shyly. You really think so? I know so. Another boutique. Another dress. Another smile. At one point, Adrian handed her a set of expensive bags. These will match your new wardrobe. Amara looked completely overwhelmed. Yesterday I thought my life was over, she admitted. Now this feels like some strange dream. It's not a dream, Adrian replied softly. It's your new beginning. Later that day, while Amara was at the salon, Adrian attended a tense meeting with his uncles. The atmosphere inside the office was heavy. One of the older men finally spoke first. Adrian, we owe you an apology. You believed lies about me, Adrian replied coldly. We were manipulated, and that was enough for all of you to turn against your own blood? Silence. Another man lowered his head. We never thought things would go this far. But they did, Adrian snapped. Men were sent after me. I almost died because this family chose rumors over truth. We're sorry. Adrian stood slowly. You should have known better. I'm not your enemy. The room stayed silent. This company, he continued firmly, this legacy, my father built it for all of us. But if I have to stand alone to protect it, then I will. One of the men finally spoke. You won't stand alone again. Adrian looked at them carefully. We'll see. That evening, Amara found Adrian sitting quietly outside near the garden fountain. I had a feeling I'd find you here, she said. He smiled faintly. It's peaceful here. She sat beside him. How are you holding up? I'm trying, she admitted. Everything changed so fast. You handled it better than most people would. I didn't really have a choice. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Adrian looked at her carefully. I want to ask you something. Amara raised an eyebrow nervously. It's nothing bad. She laughed softly. Okay, I was thinking maybe tomorrow night we go somewhere nice. A real dinner. No stress. No drama. Just us. Amara smiled genuinely. I'd like that. The next evening, Adrian couldn't stop staring at her when she walked into the restaurant. You look stunning, he admitted. Amara blushed immediately. Thank you. Dinner felt different from anything they had shared before. Calm, honest, real. Finally, Adrian took a deep breath. There's a reason I brought you here tonight. Amara listened quietly. I've been thinking about everything that happened between us, he began. The way we met. The way you were forced into my life. His voice softened. You never asked for any of this. But even after everything, you stayed. Amara's eyes locked onto his. And somewhere along the way, he continued, you became important to me. Not because of circumstances. Not because of obligation. Because of who you are. He slowly reached into his pocket. I don't want our relationship to be built on force or survival anymore. Then he revealed a small velvet box. Amara froze completely. Amara, I want us to choose each other properly this time. He opened the box, revealing a breathtaking ring. Will you marry me? For real this time. Tears instantly filled her eyes. Yes, she whispered emotionally. Yes, I will. Adrian smiled widely as he gently removed the old forced wedding ring from her finger. Then let's replace the fake beginning with a real one. Weeks later, preparations for the wedding became the talk of the city. Meanwhile, Adiz sat bitterly inside her modest apartment with Emeka. I'm tired of this life, she complained angrily after he left for work. Her mother frowned. You wanted him. Yes, but not like this. Adiz snapped. I thought my life would be bigger than this. Her mother stared at her quietly. You didn't want love, she finally said. You wanted Amara's life. Adiz looked away. And now she has something even better. Days later, Amara personally delivered a wedding invitation to their house. Adiz's hands shook as she opened it. A luxury wedding resort? She whispered in disbelief. Then she saw Adrian's name beside Amara's. Her face fell instantly. The man we gave away, Amara smiled calmly. I'll be expecting both of you. After she left, Adiz sat down heavily. Mom, she whispered painfully. You were right before. I wanted what Amara had. Her voice cracked. But this is far beyond anything I imagined. The wedding day arrived like something out of a movie. Cameras flashed everywhere as Amara stepped out in a breathtaking gown. You look incredible, the photographer said. Inside the venue, Adrian stood frozen the moment he saw her walking toward him. You're beautiful, he whispered emotionally. And you look like the man I want forever with, she replied softly. During the ceremony, the priest smiled warmly. Adrian, do you take Amara to be your lawful wife? I do. And Amara, do you take Adrian to be your lawful husband? She smiled through tears. I do. Then by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. The crowd erupted into applause as Adrian kissed her passionately. At one of the back tables, Adiz quietly wiped tears from her eyes. This could have been my life, she whispered bitterly. Her mother looked down in shame. If I had taught you contentment instead of envy, she admitted softly, maybe we wouldn't have destroyed everything. As the celebration continued, Adrian pulled Amara close during their dance. You changed my life, he whispered. Amara smiled lovingly. No, we changed each other. He kissed her forehead gently. I'm completely in love with you. I love you too. Later, the newlyweds stood before the guests one final time. I guess this is where we say goodbye for now, Adrian joked. Our honeymoon can't wait forever. The crowd laughed warmly. Amara smiled brightly at everyone. But seriously, thank you for being part of this journey. Adrian nodded. If this story touched you in any way, support us by liking, sharing, and leaving a comment. And don't forget to follow, Amara added playfully, because there's definitely more drama coming. Adrian laughed and grabbed her hand. But for now, honeymoon time, they both said together before walking away smiling.